when you get a chart like this, there are parts of it you're going to be able to read. That's fine. When you get further into the chart, you might find there are materials that are sort of unfamiliar to you. Like all of a sudden, here I've got to run a bass line and play syncopations. I already screwed up. On this measure. So like, you don't want to do a disservice to your vocalist by playing with bad timing because you're freaking out about reading the chart. So this is a situation where you can start to just play what your hands want to play, and you can do like more of a vamp in your left hand, or just run your own bass line. So for example, I can just play on the A chord. I can just play on the F minor chord. It doesn't matter. What's important is playing in the style, and you can just use the sheet to get ideas, but you don't have to play exactly what's written. You can just play in time, not screw up, and not freak out, and not spend hours practicing exactly what's printed. So, when you get further in, you might find, hey, look at this. Oh no, I have to learn this bass line and this lick. No, you don't. You can play something like that lick. So like even when I sight read this in a lesson, I was able just to see. Okay, so I made that work. I played something like the figure on the page, but I didn't spend hours practicing, and that's what's important. Here I am in my lovely graduate housing, always keeping it real with you, but I wanted to tell you that related to this video about watering piano music, if you're interested in learning about how to become a full-time accompanist, I have a 16-page guide and a 14-minute video for you teaching you where to work, how to practice, the soft skills you need to be a good accompanist. It's stuff I figured out on my own, and as an accompanist of 6 years, but also a pianist of 25 years, I hope you'll check it out. Later on in the tune, we've got a lick like this fifth lick. Boy, that looks like a lot of work to learn that. Like I have to figure out hand position and like good hand flow. Oh boy, I have to figure out all this stuff. But like when I first read this, I just saw, well, that looks like a sus chord. So I just played something like. There I kind of screwed up, but I stayed vaguely in time. If you're a working musician and you play for a lot of people are going to hand charts like this to you. Like if you're at auditions or whatever, just your regular working life, you're going to need to be able to read stuff like this. And it's like the way you read it is just playing in the style and using the page for ideas. I think that's really important. The first two kinds of improv we covered were regular jazz improv, where you just kind of play swing type stuff based on the chords you see. And then number 2 was chords with music, and that's going to be like your rock and music theater. And those are like totally fair game for improvisation based on what you're seeing. And then another kind is watering, where you take out notes or make something easier. You could certainly do that with this. Like for example, I could say, instead of playing any lick at all here, I'm just going to water it and continue on the chord vamp. Or you take away the octaves and you just play cool, like that's watering. And then another kind is fixing or rearranging, and you would usually do that with something that's poorly written, something that's that's been ported over to the piano, and it's not good for piano hands. It's not idiomatic, so you fix it or you take notes out because the hands don't reach. You know, I call those pieces written for alien hands. Okay, and then you've got like orchestral reductions. It might not even be possible to play all the notes, so you pick which notes you're gonna play based on importance and clarity for the soloist. So those are 4 kinds of improvisation or modifications, you know, that you're going to make in your piano playing. And it all depends on genre, and it depends on whether the source material is original or not. If I was doing this for a show, I would probably learn it as written if this was the book. If I'm doing this one-off for a studio class, I'm improvising on it. And then if you've got something like a Mozart sonata, you play the sonata as written. But if it's a concerto and it's a reduction, you can choose to water it and pick which parts you're going to play on the page, because chances are it's not very good taking orchestral music and putting it on piano. You have to make some decisions with that. So I hope that offers a little bit of guidance about, or like gives you a sense of freedom in what you're allowed to do with the music you play, because if you play for 40 people and you're trying to make a living at this, you don't have time to sit and learn every song. You just don't. And so part of triaging your workload is doing what I've just shown you. And it's very important that you're able to improvise like that, so you can sight read this music when people put it in front of you during lessons and auditions, and sometimes day of performances where people call you all worried about something. So, okay, yep, that's about it for this video, and I hope that is interesting. Thanks.